aerial view discovering this forgotten Cougar MRAP completely buried from above in the deep woods, overtaken by rust and forest.
Just discovered this forgotten Cougar MRAP buried in the woods, completely taken over by rust and nature.
Look at this rust damage on the body panels. That says completely eaten through in spots. Checking these rusted wheels first. Mud everywhere, hiding the run flats. Underbody's a mess. V-hull full of mud and rust everywhere. Troop compartment trashed. Mold and water everywhere inside. Driver cab wrecked. Sticky controls and rusty gauges.
Securing lift points carefully on the chassis hooks now.
Lifting it out now, all that junk falling off.
Settling it into the shop now, ready for full restoration.
Walking around noting all the rust damage and solid panels first. Checking V-hole welds for cracks under here. Testing suspension plate. Brakes rusted solid, lines brittle too. Checking the Caterpillar C7 engine oil now. It pitch black and way too thick. Needs a full flush before anything else. Radiator fins are trashed with holes everywhere. Hoses brittle and crackle. Intake filter packed solid with forest debris.
Front cab wiring is a mess. Corroded connectors everywhere. Seat rails frozen solid with rust.
Troop floor is rotten from below. Panels about to hole out. Brackets gotta go. Taking reference photos of every rusty spot and weak point now, Baloo. Can't forget where the real damage hides. Mapping out the full plan on the board. Disassembly first, then rust treatment, bodywork, paint, and finally test it out.
Stripping every side door and access panel off this Cougar now, fighting rusted hinges with the impact gun so we can get down to proper rust repair and bodywork later. Stripping every side door and access panel off this Cougar now, fighting rusted hinges with the impact gun so we can get down to proper rust repair and bodywork later. Lifting the armored glass out with suction cups and parking it in a padded rack so we can clean the frame.
Plugged, labeled, and clipped out of the way so rewiring later is clean instead of a guessing game.
Stripping the front cabin down to bare metal and sorting everything into restore, replace, or scrap piles so we only put solid, safe parts back into this Cougar.
Pulling the cluster, AC controls, and radio stack out as one system and tagging every connector so the new harness and refurbished dash will plug right back in without any guessing. Pulling the cluster, AC controls, and radio stack out as one system and tagging every connector so the new harness and refurbished dash will plug right back in without any guessing. Marking all the rusted through spots post-blast.
Plasma cutting out the rotten panels. Fabricating exact replacement panels from steel sheet.
TIG welding new panels seamlessly to the hull.
Upgrading interior seat brackets and floor.
Suspension mounts with doublers and die check. Rough sanding the entire body with 80 to 120 grit to smooth blasting marks on these wide panels.
Applying second round of body filler and spot putty, then sanding level with 240 to 320 grit.
Applying second surfacer primer after epoxy cure to fill surface pores, full body coverage.
Fitting doors temporarily to check gaps and alignment with shims and hinges.
Masking off mechanical areas, glass, and interiors before primer spraying.
Wet sanding primer smooth with 600-800 grit before color coat, flushing residue.
Spraying epoxy primer for corrosion protection over whole body and chassis.
Mixing authentic desert tan base coat color matching original Cougar MRAP military references.
Applying thin first base coat layer for even tan coverage over primer.
Second and third base coats for solid tan opacity, smoothing all bodywork visually.
Painting chassis and wheels black semi-gloss for protection.
Unmasking reveals perfect sharp paint lines around all openings. Unmasking reveals perfect sharp paint lines around all openings.
Applying military decals and markings with bubble-free adhesion.
Light airbrush weathering for realistic panel shading.
Detail painting small components in matte black for contrast.
Spraying durable interior hull coating and anti-slip V-hull floor.
Detail painting small components in matte black for contrast.
Restoring and installing driver seats with new mechanisms.
Mounting anti-blast troop seats and harnesses. We're routing the main harness through the firewall here. The new labels should make diagnostics much easier down the road. We're reinstalling the AC and ventilation, essential for keeping the cabin livable. Once the mechanical work is complete, the system will be vacuumed and charged.
We're reinstalling the ceiling panels now. The new LED lighting here makes the troop compartment much easier to maintain and more functional overall.
As we install the comms gear, we're separating the power and data cables to avoid noise. This setup ensures the crew can reliably coordinate and control the external lights. I'm installing the cleaned armored glass and fresh watertight seals now. It's crucial for visibility and protection, especially with the harsh weather this vehicle might face.
Starting engine teardown by pulling radiator and accessories for full access to the C7. Testing compression on each C7 cylinder. Solid numbers mean the rebuild is holding.
Installing new shock absorbers, bushings, and tie rod ends on the Cougar MRAP suspension, checking independent arm geometry for perfect alignment.
Replacing worn run-flat tires on the Cougar MRAP. Checking inserts and torquing new tires to factory.
Topping off all Cougar MRAP fluids to spec. Engine oil, transmission, coolant, brakes, power steering, and applying service labels.
First engine start on the restored Cougar MRAP. Glow plugs heat. C7 diesel fires up perfectly after full restoration.
mounting headlights, taillights, markers, siren, spotlights, and protective grills on the restored Cougar MRAP exterior.
Reinstalling bumpers, fenders, and steps with new hardware for perfect body lines on the Cougar MRAP.
Hanging doors with new seals, aligning for perfect gaps and operation.
Reinstalling bumpers, fenders, and steps with new hardware for perfect body lines on the Cougar MRAP.
Testing all interior functions from lights to intercom, everything operational. Final interior detailing with brushes, vacuum, and satin dressings for that perfect military finish.
Beauty shots, showcasing the flawless matte finish and details.
Exterior detailing with rinseless wash, sealant, and matte tire dressing for lasting protection.
Full restoration complete. Cougar MRAP, reborn, battle ready, and beautiful.